and welcome to this PTV special on the Silver Jubilee of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Foundation Day. Because the party that rules Pakistan today started the journey 25 years ago from today. And at that time, many pundits, many people actually kept on underestimating the potential of the party. Today, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, while addressing the nation, actually highlighted various aspects. Particularly, he pointed out the disbelief of people at that time because nobody thought that a two-party system can be broken and a new party can actually make its space. That he also mentioned. Then he actually told the tale of the whole journey, especially the first difficult 15 years. And finally, he also actually talked about how the party became a movement, and today it is quite visible to us. After that, he also talked about the priorities of the government in coming days and the government's accomplishments. We are going to talk about all this today, but before I introduce the panel, there is a package. Let us watch the package and then we are going to talk about it.
Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf was founded on 25th April 1996 in Lahore with a dream for prosperous Pakistan where everyone has high self-esteem and takes care of fellow citizens by the principles of unity. PTI won its first seat during the 2002 elections when Imran Khan was elected at the National Assembly seat of Mianwali. PTI boycotted the 2008 elections due to the principled stance against corruption. PTI's political fate turned for good when its chairman Imran Khan held his Lahore rally on 30th October 2011, which stunned both the media and politicians. In 2013 general elections, the party received 7.5 million votes, second highest votes in the elections. While at national level, the party was part of opposition, it made the government in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa with its clear focus on the common man. In 2018 elections, it received 16.9 million votes, the largest for any political party in Pakistan till now. It formed government at national level and two provinces, while it was coalition partner in Balochistan. In its tenure so far, the PTI government has stabilized the economy after inheriting the worst external crisis, faced down Indian threat after Balakot with courage, started a SARS program, the country's biggest ever social safety net, and Sehat Sahulat card for free medical treatment. PTI government expanded its Billion Tree Tsunami project and introduced green stimulus package to provide employment and combat climate change. Billion Tree Honey Initiative, Protected Areas Initiative, and Clean Green Index Awards were also included among the projects. Along with managing the biggest global COVID threat by successfully balancing lives and livelihoods, PTI government also implemented its flagship project, Naya Pakistan Housing Program, that would provide housing facility to the homeless population, accelerate economic activity in the country, and provide job opportunities to the youth. Shabbir Ahmed Wagra, PTV World, Islamabad.
While talking about the inflection points that the party actually faced, the Prime Minister, after mentioning the foundation of the party and the struggles at the start, especially highlighted 2011 Jalsa or public rally in Lahore, where there was a lot of support. Then he mentioned 2013-14 and finally 2018. One very important point that actually also seems to be worth mentioning here is another inflection point that was when Panama Papers actually, the story broke, the Prime Minister at that time took a stand that actually led the entire country to follow the matter. And it has restructured Pakistan's politics to a great extent. We are going to talk about all these matters, and then we are going to talk about the priorities of the government as well. A half past journey, half journey ahead. And in order to help us understand these issues in the studio, I am joined by Asma Kadir Sahiba, MNA of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, also one of the founding members. Thank you very much, ma'am, for being part of the program. On telephone, we will be joined by various senior party officials and the government functionaries. The moment they actually join us, I'm going to introduce them as well. Asma Kadir Sahiba, let us first talk about the journey so far. Prime Minister actually made it clear that it wasn't, a walk in the park, was it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, thank you so much, first of all, Farooq. And I started the journey, by realizing the day I saw, because from young age, being with my father and seeing there was a time as well, a very stable time during Ayub's time. But later, we experienced that Pakistan was deteriorating. And I felt, seeing around, that people were of very much of thinking, and I felt that they also urged for having a new leadership in this country, which was missing after Ayub Khan. And after Ayub Khan even, the Pakistan deteriorated very, very drastically. And a time came that the people, like we, also lost hope that perhaps Pakistan may not come back to the same era at where Ayub Khan left. So a person, came because of seeing a leader, a person, making miracles in his game, in cricket game, after that 92 World Cup, and seeing, the person who's going for a Shaukat Khanam, it is a miracle, because in the whole wide world, still we do not we don't see cancer-free cancer treatment for the oppressed people, for the poor people. So when I was the first one in 1997 in army, going out, getting myself registered for votes and so on. There I also felt that, yes, Pakistan, there was a great vacuum, and Pakistan needed a leader like him, who is strong, honest, charismatic, and very, he has a dream. Like he said, that you must have a dream. And when
and let us talk about that dream as well. That law will be equal for all, but the same for all.
And I'll come to the part dream later, but I want to share little great experiences that during this being in party and joining party. I think I joined party from the very first day when I voted him, and I started campaigning. Like, I didn't have the, what you can say, mannerism how to go for campaigning for a person, such a great leader, who's emerging as a great leader, but I joined, in a sense, psychologically, and so I joined. So it was like, after joining him, that is very practically in 2009, I had experience of going with him to the dharna which we did in Peshawar. On the way going to further Peshawar, it was such experience which I cannot explain in words. I saw people, the clothes wearing, they were all lined up on the sides. Their clothes were torn off. They're full of mud.
Right.
And, I felt like they're hungry, but they were out there. They were their eyes and their expression, and it made me cry, like how the people are coming out and they see a hope in it.
Right.
And there was a word which I used to hear from very young age. I cannot express it. Allah gave me energy to express that, what I saw. And it was like I used to hear people calling, what these every Tom, Dick and Harry can do for us, I saw every Tom, Dick and Harry holding PTI's flag.
And let us not refer to them as Tom, Dick and Harry.
No,
the common people,
No, I'm just explaining you.
Every common man.
No, I'm coming to that. I'm just coming to that. So I saw, look, the most beautiful people, the most wise and sensible people, those who can understand, those who have love for this earth, for this country, for the land. Why they are called with this name. So there I learned that, yes, the greatest people
Yeah.
It is among the common people. And our party and Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf was absolutely established by the leader Imran Khan to serve humanity, to justice
Right.
and to the oppressed people.
Right. Ma'am, I'm told that Chaudhry Fawad Hussain, Federal Minister for Information and Broadcasting, joins us on telephone. Fawad Chaudhry Sahab, thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Let us first talk about PTI's journey so far. Where do you think the party is right now and what it had to endure?
Well, obviously, in 1996, Prime Minister then Imran Khan, the cricket star, laid down the basis of this great party. Those were the times when Pakistan was under the two-party systems. Since 1988, PMLN and PPP were actually exchanging power with each other in Pakistan. And people were really fed up with the system where, the corruption was talk of the town, the mismanagement and the malgovernance was the traits of the government, and people were really looking for a change. And those were the times when Imran Khan emerged as a new hope for the people of Pakistan. It took him a long time. He could have become a prime minister when Pervez Musharraf imposed martial law and offered him to work with him. But he preferred to stay away. And then 11th October 2011 happened and everything changed for PTI and Imran Khan. And truly a hero of the people of Pakistan. He emerged as a hero of the people of Pakistan as far as politics is concerned. He conceptualized his party in the line of the very modern Muslim progressive state, the same vision that was the dream of Allama Iqbal and Qaeda-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. And he, kind of outlined his party on the same vision. And the rest is the history. Today, Imran Khan has emerged as the most powerful political leader of Pakistan, alhamdulillah. And PTI is a success story. It's a very, very rare that in a political history of countries like Pakistan, a third party can emerge like that, and he can, beat the forces of status quo. That Imran Khan and PTI has done that, and I believe it's really a marvel that they have achieved.
Right. Fawad Chaudhry Sahab, since you have talked about the journey so far, today the Prime Minister also mentioned the vision of the party. What exactly is the vision, if you can, explain that, and what exactly now will it take for that vision to realize, sir?
I think primarily PTI in VN enforcement of the law. Everyone is equal before the law. This has been a prime focus of Prime Minister, and he has always, emphasis upon that it is so important that the powerful should be taken to in the course of law, that the powerful should be brought into the course of law. And this is the only way through which you can actually create a modern and progressive society where people have equal rights. So Prime Minister has always envisioned this theme, and this is a theme he has, on which he is working on his life. So rule of law is, I would say, the primary focus and vision of Prime Minister Imran Khan.
Right. And the bottlenecks that the vision actually faces today, especially Prime Minister spoke about all the mafias actually standing up and making it difficult for government to deliver. Do you want to talk about that as well?
Well, this is what the mafia is obviously powerful, and mafias are always powerful. Prime Minister Imran Khan has beaten mafias all his life, and even in his political life, he has emerged as a leader who is anti-status quo, who has beaten, who has changed the status quo, who has brought new vision and thinking to the people. And this is the kind of, I would say, a theory that is working on, and this is the kind of thinking he has propagated. And I hope with the help of people of Pakistan and with the help of Allah Almighty, he will be able to beat all these mafias.
Right. The Prime Minister actually talked about various aspects, various policies which have started actually bearing fruit, like the government's construction policy, other policies as well. Would you care to actually elaborate some of them as well? He mentioned health card, he mentioned Kisan card, which the government is going to launch in coming days. And then, of course, he talked about the housing, projects for the underprivileged as well, sir.
Well, this needs a lot of consideration, and the kind of policies that Prime Minister has announced in Pakistan are now matured, and now they are bringing fruits. For example, if you see the vision of 5 million houses, now the kind of banking facilities, those are available to people of Pakistan, and especially to the poorest of poor. This was not available in the history of Pakistan. Now I'm bringing all the journalists into that. We are bringing all, the working journalists and the working class into this program. Likewise, the Kamyab Jawan program, through which the youngsters can actually avail loans and start their own and it's basically encouraging entrepreneurship. So these are the programs, those are game changers for Pakistan, and I hope now Prime Minister is inaugurating this agriculture plan tomorrow. That will also be a game changer. So these are the kind of programs that Prime Minister is focusing, and these programs are designed after lots of consideration, and I hope these programs will go a long way in achieving a sustainable Pakistan.
Right. Fawad Chaudhry sir, you have very rightly pointed out that other parties have merely been talking about roti, kapda and makan for the commoners. And this is a government that is actually trying to deliver as well. How confident are you, and this is the last question, how confident are you that your government will be able to fulfill its promises within the next 2.5 years, sir?
Well, obviously we are confident, and obviously that is the reason that we have launched these programs. If we would not have been confident, we would not have launched these programs. But I hope that these programs are now in the execution stage, and I think we will be able to get the results. The expectations, meeting expectations of the people is a challenge in politics. And I hope that with these programs, we will be able to meet the expectations of people.
Right. On that positive note, one last question, sir. Regarding Pakistan Television, you have also spoken about reforming the institution. Would you care to elaborate? I know I said that the previous question was the last, but this is a very important one. Your vision, your party's vision regarding PTV.
Well, primarily, I will come up with a detailed program on PTV very soon, so I will speak about that later.
Right. Fawad Chaudhry Sahab, Federal Minister for Information and Broadcasting, thank you very much for your precious time. Thank you very much for talking to us. Let me come back to the studio. Asma Qadir Sahiba, you have listened to the Federal Minister as well, and the Prime Minister actually spoke today at length. Let me ask you about the vision of PTI in your view.
The vision of the PTI is very simple, straight, and it is very much related with the understanding of the people and desire of the people. And that is, first having a welfare state, Islamic welfare state. And the other, that he was also giving justice to the country, to the people. Oppressed, concerned people are actually our common people. Our concerns are common people, lifting them out of what they were living for so long, which was absolutely not what you can say a life that is on which you can live a happy or standard life. That was never, our people were not living, mostly was stressed. And the other vision was fighting against status quo. You know, because our movement, first, as he said, he told us that he started as, you know, helping Pakistan, letting people of Pakistan coming out of the dilemma that we were facing for so long. But then he said, later he said it became a movement. Movement means fighting against status quo. And I want to tell you here that our party, our party is first non-dynastic party.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So, and the other was that our vision also is that dismantling discrimination, religious discrimination in this country as well. So these are very, you know, I'm enveloping everything in just two words.
Prejudice against everybody.
Everybody, equal law, just like as my brother Fawad was saying, rule of law is the absolutely. But having a welfare state on which having a welfare state, democratic welfare state is his vision. And remember, because as you were asking the question that whether our government will be able to fulfill the promises or as you said. So you know, let's analyze from his experience, Prime Minister's experience. One day he was with his mother, and he said, he was watching a cricket match, and he told his mother that he will be a test cricketer, and he made it. All right, because he was focused on it, on that. And then one day he decided to have a Shaukat Khanum, right? And then he now decided that he want to lift people of Pakistan, will give them a new leadership, and give them a new way, a movement, a new direction to think about themselves as the right people. They deserve what they are, and he showed them. And he brought them to the level where now they come and criticize whatever they see wrong because of his vision. And lastly, Farooq, that as we say, as he accomplished so many things, he will be, inshallah, accomplishing what he has promised to us.
You have spoken about three fields, right? First, of course, cricket, and then public service, and then politics. You realize that the three have different merit system. I mean, in cricket, within years, he was able to bring or affect that change. In public service also, Shaukat Khanum and all, there also within years, he was able to deliver, right? It took your party 25 years journey, 22 actually, to come to power, and 25 in delivering to people of Pakistan. I hope you realize that in this field, there's too much inertia. So, are you optimistic that you will be able to fulfill everything within this 2.5 years?
Well, within 2.5%, we will achieve. I've seen the way. Most of the maximum we will achieve. At least we have in 2.5, you can see we have let Pakistan come out of the economic crisis, right? As lifted, so many things are being done. Even having a pandemic, even then our economic has stable. Look at the results recently. We are receiving from, you know, that the remittances that we are receiving from. So there are great changes.
Prime Minister spoke about current account deficit, that now it has become surplus. Then he also talked about various priorities. And today there is great news. We hear that Pakistan has booked 250 COVID vaccines that are going to soon arrive. Actually 25 million that are going to actually arrive in Pakistan soon. So that is great news.
The steps that he took for, you know, for curbing pandemic here, that were great, you know, and the world praises his efforts. So we do see, I think, in my opinion, I do see great things are happening in Pakistan. Only the eyes are required to see, and only, you know, thinking such minds we are required to see on that. Lastly, what I want to put here is that Prime Minister Imran Khan is, after Quaid-e-Azam, is a new leader. And he's the struggle that he has done, he has given a new party. Before that, everyone was, you know, how they came into power and how they were held, how they were, you know, gathered and given to them. They did not create their own party, or they didn't effort.
It's a very long journey. Allow me to bring in the next guest who joins us on telephone. Rauf Hassan Saab, Special Assistant to the Prime Minister, joins us on telephone. Rauf Hassan Saab, thank you very much for being part of the program. We are talking about the silver jubilee of your party's foundation. You being a founding member, kindly do tell us how was the party at the very start and how, the journey that you have covered so far.
Ravi Saab, thank you very much. I think it required a lot of time, to actually recount those months, those years of struggle, constant struggle. But I must say, that true to his past achievements, the Prime Minister Imran Khan never lost faith. His eyes were always on the destination where he wanted to get and what he wanted to do for this country. And like everything else that he has done in life, this struggle too could be emblazoned in words of gold. It was principally grounded, this entire struggle was grounded in his ideals of conviction, courage and resilience. Not for a moment did all those people, who were traveling with him, who were with him in the struggle, have this feeling, that he would be losing sight of any of that. This is the making of a truly great leader. And I'm not saying because I'm part of PTI, but I think anyone who has known him through all these years, and even if he or she were not a part of the party, do recognize the rare qualities that Prime Minister Imran Khan's personality is embedded with. He has an indomitable faith, an unshakable faith, and an absolutely unflinching resolve. Once he gets into a mold and gets, it's sort of he's determined that he's going to get to a certain point in front of him. He is, he's there. He will get there, no matter what the impediments, no matter what the opposition, no matter what other hurdles are placed in his way. He's always gotten there, and even today, since he has been the Prime Minister of the country, it has been an uphill struggle. When he inherited the government, everybody knows the mess that it was in multiple ways, economically, administratively, and otherwise. And like all of you can see that he has remained, like in the past, he has remained steadfast. And
Rauf Hassan Saab, do stay with us since we are talking about the party, its memories, its journey so far, and of course the vision going forward. Let me also welcome another guest who joins us, Ali Haider Zaidi Saab, Federal Minister for Maritime Affairs, also a senior leader of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, national leader of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf from Karachi. Thank you very much, Ali Haider Zaidi Saab, for your time. We are talking about your party, its journey for past 25 years, and where we are at right now. Care to comment on the journey so far, sir?
Well, the journey is, first of all, thanks for having me on your show. My regards to Rauf Bhai, he's a dear friend. You see, the journey is all in front of you, and everybody knows the journey. But what I would like to specifically point out is that what is it that separates the leader from the rest of them, from the rest of the leaders, one, and secondly, what is that one big thing that Imran Khan or PTI has done to sort of change the scenario for the common man, So I'd rather start with number two. In my opinion, I'm a common man. I don't come from a political family. Neither do I have a big, massive business background where I have sugar mills, or I'm not a big landlord, so I'm not a big agriculturalist. I'm just a man from a regular middle class family of Karachi. Spent 20 now. I think it's about my 23rd year. I guess it's 2021. With PTI, I'm not a founding member, but I've been around since 1999. The one biggest favor, in fact, if you allow me to call that, is that Imran Khan gave us the strength to stand up against all of these political mafias that ruled us. Because before him, nobody dared to speak. I mean, they all joined each other at one given point or another. it was all about politics. It was all about the struggle for power. And once they were in power, it was all about the struggle to get richer than the guy next door. It was a get rich quick program getting into politics. You know, there was no, and you know, you've seen political parties becoming violent, gangs, political parties using violence as means to an end, political parties using corruption to, and leaders amassing massive amounts of wealth. So, you know, there's a proverb which goes like, a politician looks out for the next election, but a leader looks out for the next generation or thinks about the next generation. That is what Imran Khan has brought into the politics of Pakistan. So, you know, I feel very humbled and proud that
right. And you were talking about the mafia, sir. Let me ask you, at this moment it seems that the government is moving to attack the heart of the darkness, so to speak. All the mafias seem to be reacting. Do you think that these mafias can be defeated that quickly?
Mafias have already been defeated when we won the election. Now, it's, you know, they're, I mean, of course, they're not going to go that easy because, as I said, and everybody knows that they've corrupted the system, they've corrupted media, they've corrupted the bureaucracy, they've corrupted the law enforcement. So the battle is not over. I mean, the battle continues, or I should say the struggle continues. But of course, you're right. They are not going to go away that easy because for them, it's a matter of life and death, because their political as well as financial survival depends on them getting away from the arms of the law. And sort of, so they've always, you know, you've had chief ministers and prime ministers calling judges and trying to force judgments in their favor. All of these recordings are out. I mean, what have we not seen in this country?
Right.
I mean, sometimes it amazes me that we've still survived because we were ruled by the thugs of the thugs. I mean, you know. And look, I mean, some of these guys have I mean, it's not about political standing. I didn't have any political standing. But to achieve what they've achieved, they've always taken the shortcuts. The shortcuts to power are sort of paved with corruption and crime. What Imran Khan has done is he's taking the long, hard route, right? Not compromising on what we stood for before and even after we gotten into government. So it's not an easy battle. It's an uphill task. But the other thing about Imran Khan, I'll tell you, that there is no option of giving up in his dictionary. So he keeps at it till he succeeds.
Right. On that positive note, Ali Haider Zaidi sir, thank you very much for your precious time. Thank you very much for your input. Let me, before I come back to the studio, go back to Rauf Hassan Saab. Rauf Hassan Saab, now let us very quickly talk about the people who might be confronting the government, right? We have seen that sugar mafia, this mafia, the other mafia, they keep on raising their ugly heads. So how does the government actually plan to go after all these elements without actually compromising on its principles?
Davi Saab, this is a crucial question. As a matter of fact, you know, my article today is on the same subject, you know. These mafias, like my friend Ali Zaidi was trying to explain before me, they are virtually the state hostage in their tentacles. These mafias have been nurtured by political leaderships in the past, you know. They have got their tentacles dug in very deep, and they control virtually every institution in this country. You know, be it bureaucracy, be it the state institutions, other state institutions, you know, wherever you go, even judiciary, they have got their tentacles dug in there also. So it has been a very difficult struggle, you know, and the struggle is not over as yet. As you can see, multiple mafias have been unearthed: the sugar mafia, the power mafia, and so many others. Basically, one great thing that Imran Khan's government has done is that we're not keeping anything hidden. Before the advent of PTI government 2.5 years ago, whenever an inquiry was conducted, the report was never made public. This is part of Pakistan's history. It was hidden from the people of this country as to what was wrong with various facets of the government. It is Imran Khan's government basically which has made public all the reports, all the conclusions of the inquiries which have been conducted. There have been multiple inquiries, so we are taking people into confidence so that they know exactly where the problems lie. So this is one of the major achievements of this government, that we are transparent and we are holding everyone accountable. It is not an easy job. I mean, holding all these institutions, holding the bureaucracy, holding the corrupt mafias of this country accountable before law. They have not been used to it.
Right.
So it's an ongoing struggle, and this struggle is not going to finish in the next 1 to 2 years' time or so. It will go on, and this government, if it wins the second term, which I'm sure it will continue this, and governments which come later on, they will also have to continue this process of weeding out corruption from the country. It is something which is a consistent battle. It is not one in a day or a month or a year. It's a consistent battle. You have to continually try to cleanse the system.
Right. Rauf Hasan Saab, this is really heartening to hear that the government is not ready to give up. On that positive note, I have to thank you, sir. Rauf Hasan, Special Assistant to the Prime Minister, thank you very much for your precious time and views. One aspect, Asma Qadir Sahaba, that actually came out of that discussion reminded me of the Quaid Azam's first speech. That was 11th of August 1947. While it is about moderation and secularism also, but it then actually talks about black marketing and all the mafia.
Yes,
and even today we are talking about the very same elements. Yes, exactly. So it is a big fight, but it is a good fight.
Yeah.
Do you think that you will get the support of all and sundry to actually prevail?
We are, alhamdulillah, we got the support of all sundry. That's why we are here. But in that course, I just want to remind you, I want to tell you is this, that what I tell my students, the youth, the way they tell me what they have learned and learning from his leadership. And one of the, student leader, like he wants to be leader like Imran Khan. And he said, and which, amazed me a lot, he said he learned from his leadership that in great attempts like Sir Imran has done, it is glorious to fail even. So what they are learning that the youth and the people, those who are in the field, in different professions, they have started accepting the failures, or in one attempt they are not achieving their targets, but they do not lose hope. So there's so much to learn from his leadership. As the brother was saying, there's so much to tell, the time is less. We have so much to tell you about him, that what we have learned from him and how he has lifted us, what hopes he has gave us, and the same, what energy we are taking him back to Pakistan, and letting Pakistan, helping people of Pakistan come out, and we are learning how to serve in real sense the country, this country which was being after Quaid Azam was not looked after, was still in the hands of oppressed, was still in the, I still say it was in the hand of tyrants, in the hand of the thugs, and managing the people to come out and help them, help themselves to come out, and giving them a sense how to respect humanity and how to have their own self-respect.
Right.
And so much of learning, and people have really he has given energy to people to how to get themselves, stand for themselves, and how to come out of it and lead themselves for their own benefit, for their own in a decent struggle. Right. So there's so much learning of it. We cannot just envelop in such a short time.
And that is true. But let me also remind you, while you have covered a lot of ground in journey, there is a very long and very atrocious journey ahead as well. I'm told that we have to conclude the program here. Sure. Asma Qadir Sahaba, thank you very much for being part of the program through the screen. Let me also thank the guests who joined us earlier, Fawad Chaudhry Saab, Ali Haider Zaidi Saab, and Rauf Hassan Saab. Thank you very much all for being part of the program. Viewers, you have listened to the guests in the program, and you know what exactly is the vision of party. You know what the mood of the party was at the time of its founding, and the challenges that the party has faced so far, especially after coming to the government. One aspect that actually stands out, and you can see a display of that every other day. One by one, every mafia, and this is not something that I say lightly, from clergy to sugar mafia to land mafia to various other mafias, they keep on agitating and pushing back. That might actually make it quite difficult for anyone to actually succeed, but that also makes succeeding all the more interesting and attractive a goal as well. This was today's program. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.